Per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as financial advice. Let's take a look at some alts, starting with the old BTC. Things are looking on the up and up for alts, largely because BTC has popped up quite a bit and held this level. There's some low time frame risk for breakdown here, but the reality is it's going to take some time, most likely, for Bitcoin to hold on to these levels, 90 to 95, somewhere in that range. And that's okay. We don't have a div here, a bear div. We don't have anything on the daily that's suggestive of immediate reversal down. It's just we need time for the moving averages to catch up on the lower time frames. We're above the 20-week moving average, which is good. That's what you want to see in a bull trend. We survived the doom. We're seeing outperformance relative to equities. We've got liquidity on our side. We've got gold coming down, which is also good. Dollar continuing to hold lows. So all these are good things for Bitcoin and alts. It's just on the 4-hour, you can start to see it here, where we've got a little bit of a case to be made for head and shoulders. It's kind of a lazy head and shoulders. There is a bit of a div there on the 4-hour. So is this a 200x long here? Probably not, but even if we break down, I think we're going to be okay. Max would be back to 85. So I don't know if we have that in us. There's been a lot of fight at 95. We keep trying to break out and somebody keeps trying to sell us down. So it'd be interesting if we just keep doing that, right? We keep trying to ping pong up there at 95. But all in all, breaking out and holding this level for as long as we have, I will take it. We look okay. I don't think it's convincingly some sort of high and tight flag, but it is reminiscent of the stuff we saw in November 2023, where we just sort of hung out at highs for a long time. We still have negative funding on the BTC side. On crypto exchanges, we have positive funding in legacy land with futures. So that's very bizarre right now. But so far, so good. We survived the negative GDP. We survived PCE. We survived some jobs numbers that came out this week. Dominance still looks bullish and strong. The question is, does it matter at the extremes, right? Does it really matter that you're not all in BTC if this is an extreme in dominance? It certainly mattered at the bottom because you had tons of money moving back into BTC. To me, it still makes the most sense to wait for this to roll over to be fully denominated in alts. If that's the path you choose to go down, this is still clearly bullish BTC. There's some stuff on USD pairs for alts that's starting to look good. So it wouldn't surprise me if within the next 2 weeks, we start to see dominance slow down a little bit. What we actually see and what actually happens, I don't know. That doesn't mean full-blown alt season, but it does look like we're due for a little mean reversion on the alt side. This is total 2 over BTC, and still, there's really nothing else to say. When you're comparing against the benchmark like this as a group, it's pretty clear. It's been down only for years, and really what it took was an infinite amount, seemingly, of free money to push alts as high as they got relative to BTC. So if we see that again, if we see stimmies, if we see a response to recession, whatever, if we see a recession or not, are your alts recession proof? That's something to keep in mind. Is page 56 recession proof? Probably not. If we have a mild recession, I think reasonably the top 20 coins might be okay. But a lot of this stuff way down the list is probably still angry and hitting the core. Looking at stables, Tether's been printing and minting, baby. So alts should start to do better. They're getting these liquidity infusions. They had 2 $1 billion prints yesterday. That's a new all-time high, I think, for USDT and USDC combined. What we see on the total 2 chart on the USD charts is basically this, where we're sort of waiting for the inverted head and shoulders. So I got my wish a little bit that we slowed down. I think this is the 6th red day for Sol in a row. And we're forming a right shoulder. Some of these have a upward sloping diag. You're not seeing that here on total 2. It's more of a downward sloping neckline. Similar to August to November, you kind of had this upsloping neckline. You're certainly seeing that with Sol and a few others, but we're getting there. It's certainly less depressing than it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. When we were in the down move, that's just, look at this stuff once a week and be done with it. Now we're to the point where you probably want to start to pay attention a little bit more for entries because it is starting to look better across the board. This is Tether against USDC, and you can see since April 22nd, there was a big spike in total Tether issued. Not as big as post-election, but that's a decent spike and a new all-time high for Tether issuance. One of the ways you can sort of guess when you will see additional issuance is whether or not there's a premium. This is the Kraken USD USDT price. So if there's a premium on this, if it's well above $1, generally you see somebody coming in to arb that. So we saw that in November, a huge premium here that's usually based on demand. So if there's demand for it, then issuance follows. And we are seeing that now. We are seeing demand for Tether pick up. Typically that means people are deploying it in alts. That's why stablecoin mints, specifically Tether, generally bullish for alts because people are using it to speculate. So good to see premiums on Tether, good to see the mints. And frankly, I like the odds here where we're at collectively with global liquidity and Bitcoin where it's at and seeing these mints and stablecoins. Those should all provide additional tailwinds for prices to go higher. Then I thought I'd take a quick peek at the watch charts. This continues to turn down a little bit. Really just more of an entertainment than an actual data point. But it will be interesting if this matches maybe NFTs more than alts generally, but no real strength here on the watch charts. Moving to Kraken Desktop, your number one source for crypto trading. Makes you smarter, wiser, and should you not have access to a Kraken account, there's a link in the description of this very video to get started. So across the board, we saw a lot of negative today. BTC was down on the GDP print. Legacy was down pre-open on PCE and GDP. By the end of the day, we've bounced quite a bit across the board. Bitcoin was barely down on the day. Alts down much more. That's typically what you see. But to me, looking at Sol specifically, I'm not really worried about it because this is where my head's at. My head's at seeing a bottoming fractal eventually. It's good to see it out of the channel. It's good to see a series of lows get tested. Whatever we see here, fine. But what I'm looking at, what I'm got a laser focus on is this potential edge-to-edge move. You get a better entry on something like Sol in the 140 range. It doesn't need to go that low, but you can see the neckline here. The neckline is also upsloping. So this looks good. I mean, you could get a shoulder all the way down to 115 and 120 again. I don't think we'll see that, but within the next week or two, you should get a great signal on an entry here on Sol, just from the cloud. So that looks really good. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Curve, very odd to me. I don't know if this has to do with money getting washed. I really don't know. Maybe it has to do with stable coins. I don't have a great thesis here, but this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see a flat bottoming multi-week pattern, in this case multi-months, multiple months, with a candle close inside of the cloud with a bullish TK cross. You had a candle close near the bottom of the cloud, and then you're on your way. You're on your journey to somewhere up here, the other edge of the cloud. That's what it's all about. Doesn't happen in a straight line usually. Usually it takes time. Why is it up 10% today and everything else is down? I don't have a good answer for that, but this is what you always want to see on something like Sol, where we're not triggering that yet. And all these trades ever really represent is some sort of mean reversion. If this is the 50% level of something, that's what the cloud is pointing out here. So what you're really trading is mean reversion, Dow theory. That's what the edge-to-edge trades are pointing at. You're just using the cloud as your entry level, your entry zone. So anyway, Sol looks good. Curve looks good. Ripple, I don't really think there's anything to do here. They delayed some ETFs yesterday. There's a low time frame, inverted head and shoulders here. The daily is still in a huge range. Bullish, no. Bearish, not really. More neutral. I don't really see a trade here until everything gets back on the horse again. Doesn't really make sense to me to trade that one right now. ETH needs time. Whether or not this is enough of a pattern, we'll see. I tend to think not. I tend to think you're going to see an extended move here, maybe into May. Like, it's going to take ETH kicking and screaming to get started here. Sol probably moves first. Sol beta probably moves first. SWI probably moves first. Memes probably move first. But this is a good laggard trade late May to think about. It's because it's not the USD value here that matters. It's when is it moving relative to everything else? Like, yeah, you could sit in this and you're going to get a decent trade probably relative to just USD. But if you can get trades out of it, if you're a market timer and you're trying to get 2 or 3 trades out of it, I think you're better off waiting. But this is a bottom in process, certainly. May take you into June. I don't know. Like, let everything else move and you get the cleanest trade of your life. Trading ETH from 1800 late May to 2500. Sure, right? What does it really matter if you're trading this stuff? SWI has looked more like BTC. It has held its levels. I think it has a lower time frame. Yeah. Kind of a Adam and Eve, rounded top, double top. It's not screaming bearish. It just looks like it needs to negate that consolidation a little bit. Sol, similar. It had this head and shoulders look to it. It's trying to fight that off now. So I don't think we're going to see any major moves in the near term for alts, but they look really, really good the way they're setting up into next week and the week after. ADA, high time frame, not really much going on. Still kind of in this channel. You could probably draw a few things here, but that's really not what this is about. It's not about what is this trading in a vacuum. To me, it's about what is the best trade or entry setup right now, tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks from now. I don't really see anything here for me personally. Tau, I would love to see this one pull back, settle down. You get a bullish Kumo breakout. May, June, that's the next thing to watch for. Here it's just kind of in cloud no man's land. Not really a setup or entry for me. Curve we talked about. LTC, similar to ETH, maybe you'll see a cleaner neckline with an entry there. Just feels a little early here, but you could see it. If everything else starts to move, you're going to see some of this stuff catch up. It's just a little early right now, but late May, early June, I could see it. Monero had a huge spike because somebody was washing some stolen funds. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say here. It looks okay. You just got to be careful with that big liquidity hunt for those washed funds. Tron's still holding out decently, not screaming anything just yet. Into May, though, May is looking like the month. It's looking like the month where alts finally look decent. I mean, look how long this is consolidated. November, December to May. That's a real deal time frame of consolidation for an altcoin. It's held up a lot better than everything else. Not quite there yet. CAS, basically BTC, beta, no man's land, kind of similar to Tau. And SWI, Link, you could probably get your right shoulder over the next couple days or week. I like alerts at like 15, but this stuff is looking good. It's starting to set up. And if we can pull it up on the weekly BTC, we're like down here. If we're thinking about the types of cloud setups that we've seen in the past, we're like 2023 weekly cloud. Again, no guarantees of swift move like that, but that's the type of setup alts are in the zone for. It's just a matter of personal preference and deciding which one you like better. When we're talking about these edge-to-edge trades, entries the cloud, that's a daily close of a candle in the cloud with a bullish TK cross, targets the other edge of the cloud. Stop loss is either the Kijun or the cloud or a lower low, something like that. All these trades are always the same. I never treat them differently in that regard. So if Sol breaks into the cloud and then breaks down lower, then the odds of that edge-to-edge playing out are pretty diminished. Dot here on the daily probably needs more time. It's like it's sort of trying to get there. It's just a question of, do you buy it? If I had to rush out after this video, do I want to buy Dot? Not yet. Not yet. Maybe it's a mix of a IHS broadening wedge, something down here. Talk to me, in May. The video in May is going to be just banger after banger because there's going to be so many trades and setups. It's going to be outrageous. Ondo just needs a little bit more time. Looks okay. Trying to get that move into the cloud. FET, you do have a close in the cloud. You do have bullish TK cross. You got your cloud close April 23rd. So that looks good. The issue here is it's just sort of late and you're after 2-3 weeks of up move. One way to handle this is like Sol. Like if you think, okay, Sol looks good enough, maybe just start nibbling, and then you have a specific buy level that you like once it gets in the cloud. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a game of probabilities. You got to understand, until this stuff triggers the setup, the probability is lower that it plays out. Obviously, the risk reward ratio is skewed, but yeah, FET looks good. It's starting, it doesn't look like ETH, right? It made a continuous series of higher highs. It's in the cloud. Good example. Aave needs a little bit more time. Something else to think about is what will these rotations look like on the ERC20 or Solana, Memecoin, because I'm always thinking 2, 3, 4 trades in succession if you can get it, if you're lucky. So maybe Aave's on that list when ETH starts moving, but not quite ready there. Algo is just almost ready, right? Again, you're getting this upslope. You're getting a potential right shoulder here. Maybe it drops down a little bit. If BTC goes to 90, alts are going to drop pretty hard, but it's close. And it's a clean mean reversion E to E setup there to 32 cents. So Algo looks decent. AVAX, same deal, looks decent. You already have your bullish TK cross. You have your W down here. And it hit the cloud and then just got denied. And now it's just slowly drooping down. But I fully expect this also to trigger an edge-to-edge. Array on the daily, probably a little slow. 5 is the level. If it can get into the cloud there. 4 hour, no, it's probably just late at this point. But that's a potential 2x if it goes to 5 from here. I think you'd have to see a lot of retail trading coming back to Solana, which we could see. It's just if the consumer has no money and Main Street has no money, are they really going to gamble on meme coins? I don't know. Tia, kind of just a mess. Really nothing to say here. I got nothing. Needs lots of time. Render, like FET, has been in the cloud for a little while now with a bullish TK cross. So this is what you want to see. We actually did not get this lower right shoulder. Maybe this goes lower over the next few days, but it is satisfying conditions for a mean reversion entry. Near needs more time. Kind of looks like a few of the others we've talked about. ENA, same deal, needs more time. Massive edge potential there. FTM, I got nothing. Atom. Let's see, there's something on high time frames I've got here. I don't know. It's just like there's so many good looking setups that are just close enough to being ready. I feel like if it doesn't look good enough, then it just doesn't make the cut. Now, you could argue there's some sort of IHS down here. I'm not going to disagree with you there. I just think some of the higher cap stuff will move first before this. Aptos needs more time. Starting to get there, starting to set up. Looks okay. STX got into the cloud, bullish TK cross, pulled back a little bit. This is a great example of something you got to be careful with your stop losses. The stop losses aren't always the cloud level, because if the Kijun is as far away as it was, it's pretty inevitable that you're likely going to see a mean reversion back down. So I still like this chart. I still like this as a setup, an entry, a trade. It looks more ready than a lot of these other charts. Stop loss at this point, you'd have to put down here at like 70 cents. HNT also well on its way. Again, you had your breakout, you had a TK cross. It's not going to be a straight journey most of the time. Got to keep that in mind, but it looks like it's trying. It's trying. Pith, maybe IHS, right shoulder right now. Starting to get there. And Rune, I wouldn't really touch because the network fundamentally is a mess. But in the next 2 days, if it can hold this level, then that's a technical cloud entry. I hesitate to even analyze this, as people inevitably are going to love this idea because it's got it's like 3x potentially. If alts go the way they do in May, do fundamentals matter? I don't know, but I would be very careful trading this. Network has been an issue recently. We'll do memes and BTC pairs and get out of here. On the old fart coin, everyone's favorite, just continues to putter along up here. You've got an inverted head and shoulders currently trying to break out. It's trying to break highs. Very bizarre that this is the coin the market has shifted towards. I do think, along with ENA, one of the best bang for your bucks is Doge, where it's a little early. You don't have your right shoulder fully formed yet. Give it another week or two. And this is definitely one of the better looking setups. I like alerts at like, I don't know, 17.5 cents. I don't know, something that gives you enough time to take a position should you want to do that. But this looks like a very healthy setup into May. Trump coin, nothing I would touch for any reason. Pepe, low time frame, head and shoulders concern there, but on the daily, we are in the cloud. We've been in the cloud for a little while. Bullish TK cross. Maybe this checks back to the neckline. Key June, maybe not. Kind of depends on BTC, I think. But if ETH even sneezes higher, I expect this to just be up 25% one day. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to see a negative 20% day first, but I really like this setup. I really like this pair. I like how this looks on higher time frames. Polkadot has made its way through the cloud. And what else do you want? You just got to be patient with this stuff. It's going to take some time, but you had your pattern, you had your breakout, you had your cloud entry. Now your targets are somewhere up here. And when you're in the cloud itself, you can use the Williams fractal trailing stop losses. You can use the like 1050 cross if you want to see what is this one? This is the 10 probably. Yeah. So you could just use the 10-day moving average as a trailing stop loss. If you like cleanly wanted anything, that's one way to do it. Still looks okay. Bonk, also a lot of the same there. You got your bottom pattern. You had a div here. You had a breakout, bullish TK cross, edge to edge, right? All of this happened in succession. Every time I look at these other charts, I'm just thinking about ETH, right? It's going to take still some time for ETH on the USD pair to turn a corner. Whereas all these other coins, this is basically what, like 2,000 equivalent for ETH? Pretty wild that this has retraced that much already. But memes certainly leading the market. WIF also looks very good. Looks very good. Slamming against the cloud there. Bullish TK cross today or tomorrow. Close inside the cloud today or tomorrow. And the greed in me always wants an entry like down here if you can get it, right? Like just watch this get denied on the cloud the entire ride down. Best case is always just as low as you can get it, right at the stop loss, right? But it certainly looks good enough to start to trade this today. Looks fine, especially because it's down from 480 to the current levels. So that's a great looking setup right there. SHIB needs a little bit more time, but like the others, looks like a decent setup. From memory, I don't think SHIB did as well as it was expected to do. When you consolidate like this from June to November and you barely get a move, I mean, it's a move, but I don't think it was it within expectations? Maybe it was. I don't know. It just didn't feel as explosive as some of the other meme coins. So maybe keep that in mind when you're trading some of this stuff. Does it have a history? Does WIF have a history of going bonkers? WIF certainly does on both directions, but maybe WIF was the underperformer here in November. Anyway, just something to keep in mind when you're, again, given so many opportunities here. Floki in the cloud, bullish TK cross. You did not see the right shoulder. Maybe this checks back to the level here, but I think at any that look like this, you have to give them both time and a wide berth. I wouldn't place a stop loss anywhere above the neckline. You just have to give it time. I mean, you got the entry, right? You got the conditions for bullish continuation. Let it play out. So it's volatile. I mean, what did you sign up for, right? MOG, same deal. Starting to push its way into the cloud. Starting to tease a close into the cloud here. That's a huge move on a lower market cap coin. But I like the setup. So I still hold some Curve, some MOG, some Pepe. What else do I've got? Some Sol. Can't remember the full list. I think STX I have as well. On BTC pairs real quick. Sol BTC still looks like a potential IHS to me. Clean, edge to edge, bullish. It's the same trade. All these are the same trade. Just different times along the path here. Should they continue, how do I expect them to? Into May, we should look good. ETH BTC, I just wouldn't touch it. It's just not worth it. Look at the denial here on the Tenkin, on the daily. Just ugly. Now it's starting to maybe claw its way back. But why? Now you could say this has been flat for weeks. Maybe on the 4 hour, maybe you take a trade. I just don't think it's worth it. When you're talking about, does it have a history of doing anything productive? It really doesn't. Not in many, many years. Now you could justify a trade here if it can get above the 4 hour 0192. I don't know. I just feel like it's not worth it. Why? Trade memes, trade other L1s. It just doesn't make sense to me until this starts to actually show some strength. Why bother? You can say it's down a lot. You can say it's oversold. This doesn't make sense to me. Ripple BTC peaking below the cloud there. Certainly not bullish. Definitely not a screaming buy at the moment. LTC BTC consolidating at the lows there. I think that's close to an all-time low. PAXG will skip. That's just gold. Tron below the cloud there, losing a bit against BTC. ADA also below the cloud. Some of these, you can see the low time frame inverted head and shoulders similar to ETH BTC trying. It's just a little early. Stellar hit a new multi-month low today against BTC. Until Ripple wakes up, I wouldn't expect Stellar to do much of anything. .BTC, that's got to be close to an all-time low down there. Just doesn't make sense here. Doge, again, a bit interesting. It retraced the entire post-election, pre-election move. Now, it's not a trade here. It's not an entry here. Maybe above some horizontal. Doesn't quite make sense here, but maybe May, June is the time. Just a little early. Link BTC, same deal. A little early, really nothing to do there. SNX, is that an all-time low against Bitcoin? Might be. Certainly doesn't look good against BTC. Once ETH starts to wake up, maybe you see DeFi wake up a little bit. Monero BTC has always been kind of all over the place, but mostly it has been down only for Monero. If you go back to pre-2015, it was maybe more bullish, but yeah, really nothing there for me. Matic tapped a new all-time low, I think, recently. Again, it's just that this has a history of underperformance where it will have to prove itself, and we're not there yet. Algo trying to bottom out, a little early. Maker, same deal. Maybe a massive inverted head and shoulders here, trying to bottom out. We'll see into May. Sand, that's a new low. That's an ugly retracement. Atom, same deal. So it hasn't made sense to sit in these BTC pairs. That's pretty evident by Bitcoin dominance, right? I think the best setup on BTC pairs is Sol. It's been ranging since February. And come May, June, I think we will start to see the outperformance of the altcoins. So that's all I have for this one. A little bit longer. You just gotta be patient, right? You gotta wait for that great setup. Take it, be a trader, don't be a community member, and then move on with your life. That's all I got for this one. Give me a like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.